Well, it's Thanksgiving Day out here, November 22nd. It's about 7 o'clock now. Got a nice frosty morning. It's about 28, 29 degrees. Very calm, almost no wind. Got good thermals. We've got some does that already passed through before camera light, but I checked my card and had a few nice bucks within the last day, so hopefully they're still in the area. I've got a big patch of CRP up here to my north, and it provides a lot of really good bedding. Neat transition I've got on this field. There's a little berm that runs the length of this eastern field edge, so they cruise it, check this field, and there's a nice creek crossing to my north also to get into that CRP, so it's a good transition, good travel corridor. So we will see what happens here, but it's feeling pretty nice, and I haven't seen a decrease in movement just from what I've driven around and looked at, as well as what my cards have told me. So pretty promising. Not too discouraged yet, but it's been tough trying to get a mature buck out here, so hopefully we'll get one here.
Shortly after the rattling sequence that I did, I had that buck that was on trail cam come right out to the field. He went straight across, didn't offer a shot, and I didn't want to move too quick and spook him when he came up behind me, but he went out there, checked his scrape, and I was able to turn around in my tree and conceal my antlers and give another little rattle and get him to come back across. This deer got to around that 65-yard mark, and I started to get ready to shoot. Unfortunately, he hugged the other side of the field and didn't get any closer than 50, which is a shot I am not comfortable with taking. And he showed his intelligence and went to try and get downwind of me. It never ended up spooking, but got downwind, circled around, and was able to get around me. The morning of the 24th started out early with that same buck from the 22nd coming out first, as well as some does. But he came out to feed, was really calm and relaxed and comfortable in this hayfield, which is really nice to watch. He fed for a while and ended up working his way down towards those does. He very, very slowly worked back over to me, and took the exact same path that he did on Thanksgiving morning and exited the field over to my right. I tried to stop him, and I wasn't drawn back or anything. I was trying to just hold him up. But I know he didn't leave because I didn't hear him walk off anywhere. Well, it's about 8:15 now, and it's been about an hour since I shot that buck. I reviewed the footage. He was almost out of the frame, but I got the shot, and it looked like I thought he was out about 42 yards. It was more probably at like that 47, 48 yard mark, which is a little longer than I anticipated and that I would usually take, but he was quartering away a little bit, and he unfortunately was able to drop and spin at the same time, and he was taking a step, so don't feel too good about it. Yeah, not usually a shot I'd like to take, but he started to look like he was going to turn more broadside, or he wasn't quartering that much on the actual shot, but he did when he dropped and spun, but looked like he was going to turn and stop because there was a little buck over here to the left, and it didn't pan out like that, so we'll see what happens. I see my arrow over there. Looks like I hit low and back, and the quartering might have snuck it up into the liver or something, but he stood over there for about 15 minutes and didn't move and slowly walked off. There's a big creek over there, so I don't know if he wanted to go down in that or not. There's a little brush pile back there that he went behind, so maybe he bedded down. I'm hoping so, and I'll just let him be. That arrow might have got 12 to 14 inches of penetration, so we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna hang in here a little bit longer and then go grab that arrow and sneak out of here. So I wanted to get down. I came over, grabbed my arrow. It had some guts on it. I found a piece of corn, and I trailed up to where I saw him standing for about 15-20 minutes, and I just wanted to get my eyes on some blood. And where he stood, there's a little pile of blood right here behind me, and he, in my video, my post-shot interview, I said he went behind a brush pile and hopefully bedded down, and there's a bald eagle. That's exactly what he did, behind this tree, and he couldn't see me at all without getting up, so I had an arrow knocked. I gave him a little ramp, and he stood up, took 3 steps, cleared that brush pile perfectly for me, and I delivered another shot 10 yards away. So I'll message the boys and get some help coming, but we'll get them out of here. Feel dressed, and he's a dandy for sure. Well, it's November 24th, and we got it done this morning. We got him up out of the creek and back up here to the house, and
got him all field dressed, and really happy with it. Rack wise, there's probably some bigger deer out there, but that's not what we're after. So he's nice, mature. He came out in the field early in the morning about 6:45 and was feeding, and then worked over to some does. And then the other morning I had an encounter with him, and I rattled at him, and he came from across the field to that rattle and did the exact same thing he did last time, and he skirted right around me just out of range, and he did that exact same thing this morning. And when he went in the timber, I knew he didn't leave. I couldn't quite see him, so I gave him a little bit and rattled again, and I had a little buck out there. So he came out and saw that little buck, puffed up, and was at 48 yards. I thought he was more at 40, 42, so I hit low, and he dropped and spun, so I hit back as well. But I went over, found my arrow, followed like a 20, 30 yard trail to where I saw him standing for like 15 or 20 minutes, and he had a little blood pile right there, and I was sure to go in there really quietly. And I looked up, and he's standing behind this, laying bedded behind a brush pile, and I gave him a little map, and he popped up, came, cleared that brush pile, and I had an arrow knocked, so I put another one in it, and that ended that. He ran 15 yards down into the creek and expired right there. So it was a long season, and I'll be sure to be out there still behind the camera for the other guys and try to get some more on the ground.